Welcome to today's edition of Mental Health Matters. Today's topic is called Wise Tale. We're going to talk about marriage from a woman's point of view. Stay tuned. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. I always like to start off with thank you because I know the guests are really, really busy. So to just take time out of your busy schedule and to be a guest on this show, I really, really appreciate it. I want you to start off by introducing yourselves and kind of talk a little bit about what you do.
My name is Lindsay, and I'm a social work case manager.
I'm Kathleen, and I am a program assistant for a nonprofit here in Sacramento.
Okay, so we're just going to dive right into it. So how long have you guys been married, and why did you get married?
I have been married for 10 years in February, so coming up on 10-year anniversary. Okay. And when I got married, it was for religious purposes.
Oh, nice.
I was young.
Okay.
And so that's what I felt on my conscience to do.
Okay.
Well, that sounds odd, but like we were in love. So living together,
Yeah.
We were living together, and so we felt it was the right thing to do.
Okay. Kathleen?
I have been married for 20 years.
Oh, yay, we got that.
At the beginning we got, we were going to get married because there were legal things that we wanted to make sure that we could have say in each other's lives. We knew we were going to stay together. We really just kind of did the marriage thing just to make sure, like, if something happened, so it was all legal.
Okay.
Because we already knew that we were going to be together, but we thought, if something should happen, we should have the law. But we had so that was the original reason of why we decided to go ahead and get married.
Yeah, I think when people meet, I've heard stories of people saying that they kind of knew that this person is their soulmate. I think like for some people, you kind of know from the very beginning. I think the process just has to work itself out. Mm-hmm. So it kind of sounds like, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what does marriage mean to you? And I think this is a point of question because marriage means different things to different people. Like, for example, you stated you got married for religious purposes and you got married for, legal purposes. So mm-hmm. I want to kind of hear, in your opinion, what does marriage mean to you?
For me, marriage is a lifelong commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It means I get a lifelong best friend and partner.
Nice.
Somebody to go through life with.
Yeah.
That's what marriage is.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
I agree with all what you said, but it's a contract of you stating that you are everything to that person and vice versa. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's you call it a marriage license, but I kind of feel like it's, in a way, it's kind of a life contract of we've decided to spend our lives together and build from there.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. That's
awesome. So do you think that people today, because if you really look at the media and just, you see a lot when it comes to marriage, especially in Hollywood, people get married and you could see them being divorced in 3 days or something like that. Do you think people marry for convenience?
I would say people marry for convenience, absolutely.
So why would you say that? And what type of convenience?
Well, specifically, like you were saying, like with celebrities or if people have the intentions, good motives.
Yeah.
We're human.
Yeah, exactly.
We may have bad motives.
Exactly.
So that's why I say it's possible and likely for convenience.
Okay.
For example, this might sound really,
it's sad.
But some people marry for money.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's convenient. They don't, they won't have any worries financially or anything in the future if they marry a particular person.
Yes, exactly. So. Exactly. What do you think, Kathleen?
Well, I think too, especially today, that people just get married because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
I have to get married. Well, no, you don't have to.
Exactly.
There are many examples in the world of
Yeah.
people, even celebrities, that have lifelong commitments to each other, and they haven't got married. They haven't done the walk down the aisle thing. So I think, I think people, a lot of times just jump into it because they just don't know what else to do.
I definitely agree. I know some cultures has a strong background of being married. One particular culture in general, I'm not going to mention, and this particular culture, I've known some of them to get married as early as like 18 years old, and I think the pressure within the culture causes them to feel like, okay, I need to get married because my friends that got married or a family member that got married, and it's like getting married in this culture is like, it's like going to an event. Everybody does it, and it's not to say that they're not getting married because of love, but I feel like it's more like a fad, and then the inwardly pressure starts once you kind of see that, oh, okay, everybody else is getting married, or I reached a certain age and stuff like that. So I've actually, talked to certain people about that, and they confided in me about, I just kind of feel like, man, just the pressure or the culture, or my sister or my brother that got married, I feel like, that's my time. And I will tell them, like, look, you got to make sure this is what it's supposed to be for you, because if it's not, then you're gonna have some challenges and problems because your motive is not right.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, because I want to kind of talk about this. So it seems like every girl from a child has always dreamed of being married. She has always dreamed of having her knight in shining armor. Is that true in a sense where, does it start at a young age, for women at least? Because I know for some men, we kind of like, if it happened, it happened, and if it don't, it don't. We just kind of like, but it seems like women are more engaged with the marriage process from even a young age. They dream of having this big, beautiful wedding, this guy who's going to sweep them off their feet. I mean, is there some reality or some truth to that?
For me, it was more so about the wedding,
Okay.
ceremony.
Okay.
I can remember being 8 years old,
Okay.
picking out color schemes.
Wow.
I knew since I was 8 years old what colors I wanted my wedding,
Wow.
which played out.
Yeah.
But not necessarily the man part.
Okay.
Yeah, I was never like, oh, he's going to be loyal and
Yeah.
caring. And
Yeah.
it was more so about the ceremony for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Kathleen?
I think as almost becoming an adulthood, I had a big itch to get married for some reason. Oh, I should get married and whatnot. And then I kind of got over it. But I don't remember like Lindsay being young and picking out colors and things of that nature. But I do feel that especially for girls, it's thrust upon you whether you want it or not at a
Yeah.
very young age.
Yeah.
You look at a lot of movies and things out there that princess or whoever always, not so much anymore, there's a few
Yeah.
that have changed it, but you have to be saved. You
Yeah.
have to be taken care of.
Exactly.
You have to, and so I'm trying to, with my daughters, get away from that. You don't have to be saved.
Yeah.
You don't have to have someone take care of you. You can get married if you feel like it's a good choice for you. It's not the end all be all. Whereas, my mom's generation and back, it was, you go and you graduate high school and you get a husband, you get married, and that's what you do. But yeah, I feel like it's a lot on girls. It gets thrust on very, very young age of
Wow.
marriage and that whole. It's fun because you plan for the wedding, but have you planned for the marriage?
Oh, wow. That's deep.
It's very true.
That's very deep. I've never heard of that.
Mm-hmm,
You plan for the wedding, but have you planned for the marriage? Because think about it, after the thrill is gone,
What do you have left?
then what?
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next question. So, when you get married, so you have to start to compromise a little bit. It's no longer about you. And now you have a spouse that you have to work with as a team. Now, we know men and women are different. I think you guys know that because you're married.
Right.
So what has happened within your marriage as far as the man part? Like, have you found that your husband is, obviously a little different, but like, I guess you want to talk about him being a man. Like, how is it different? Like, how is it different as far as, okay, I want to talk to you, but I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying or really grasp what I'm feeling. Like, have you experienced something like that?
Well, one thing's for sure that I can say is, in my experience with men in general and with obviously my husband, sounds funny, but women are more communicators.
Yes.
We feel, not to say that we feel more, but we like to talk more about those feelings. So it is in my marriage.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I noticed that, with my husband, when there's something we need to discuss, we just talk about that issue and
That's
get right.
awesome.
I cut to the chase. Here's what's happening.
That's awesome.
Whereas with your girlfriend, you have to add all those details and you have to talk and all the feelings. Where I think to effectively communicate with him, it's more, this is what's happening. It's a lot more straightforward and kind of get to the point.
Yeah.
And I make sure that he knows, like, when we need to have a conversation or something like that. It's not just, we kind of set time aside for it if there's something, that.
Better get ready.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's, I like that. So do you think is date night important in a marriage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you have kids.
Okay, when you have kids.
Yeah, because I think people get too involved in their roles as mom and dad or employees at their job or friends, siblings, family. You get so involved in your roles that you forget that.
Yeah.
To give attention to the fact that you're not just the father of my children, you're also my husband.
Yeah.
And so to give that special attention to that person is important.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because, one day the kids will be gone and you still have that partner. So you have to nourish that relationship.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, throughout all the, it may not be as often as you would like to be, but you have to, take the time and work on that relationship as well.
Exactly.
Because it is a different relationship than mother and father. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's hopefully what's going to be left when the kids leave. So
Yeah.
you can't wake up one day and go, who are you?
Yeah.
Because that's
Some
trouble.
people do, yeah. So having children in a marriage, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Because, you do, as a mother, you do have to meet the needs of your child, but you also have to meet the needs of your spouse. Mm-hmm. So that and I've actually heard people say that they was kind of jealous of the kids. That the relationship that the husband or the wife had with the child, they would, and so that can arise. I mean, especially if you guys married each other single and you guys been together, I'm just saying, for 2 or 3 years alone, and then boom, this baby come along, and now one of the spouse or both of the spouse have to share that attention. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I don't see why it would be a problem personally to me, but some people go through that.
Yeah. To add to that, me and my husband, we were teenagers when we got together. So you go from being teenagers who are young and vibrant and not a care in the world, to being a parent and can't go out together as much, can't have alone time together as much, can't have some quietness in your life as much, and so that's where it can get a little difficult with the sharing the time or wanting more of your partner's time.
Exactly. So, do you guys think that you want to?
Oh no, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
So, because I want to talk a little bit about the role of a wife. Now, we live in a society where we got old-fashioned rules or sayings that the women have certain roles. In fact, I was just talking to somebody not too long ago who's married, and she was telling me that in her culture, she had people kind of talk to her and say, well, don't you want to be a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife? Your husband making enough money. Why are you just not pretty much taking advantage of that? And she said, she told them, like, look, I'm independent. I'm smart. I want a job. I don't have to just stay at home all day and not do anything. So let's talk a little bit about the role of a wife. What do you think the role of a wife should be in 2017?
It should be whatever the woman wants it to be. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just so kidding. No, I think that depends on the relationship.
Okay.
I've seen situations where the fathers stay home
Yes.
and take care of kids.
Okay.
And that works for their marriage.
Yeah.
I personally think that if a woman chooses to stay home and be a mom, she has every right to. I also think if she wants to go out and work, or get an education, make a career for herself, that I do feel that is most successful when the support from the husband is there.
Exactly. I definitely agree.
But as far as what a marriage should be or should look like is, I think, completely up to what works for that couple.
Exactly. What do you think, Adelaide?
As far as the wife, I think the wife's role should mirror what the husband's role is. You know, we do a lot of the same things. We do a lot of the same chores around the house. We do
That's
a lot
awesome.
of, you know, but we had conversations before we got married about where we were going to go with our life and our relationship and kids and that type of stuff. And so, you know, we already knew I would stay home in the beginning when we had kids that were young and then go back to work out. I mean, so those are a lot of things that we talked about before we even got married. So we kind of knew. But I feel, you know, a wife's role is to support her partner and family. And I don't think it has a female or male, you know, stereotype to it. It's just you are part of a unit and, you know, this is, you know, you do what needs to be done. So we both do a lot of the same things and different things, but
And that changes too throughout the years. At least for my marriage, it has changed.
Yeah.
I was stay-at-home mom, was for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, I went to school early.
Okay.
So I was finished with school early, and then I was just a stay-at-home mom for a while.
Okay.
Well, before I dreamed of being a wife, I dreamed of ambitions and goals as well. And so I think that hit up when my kids got to a certain age, that feeling of doing something for myself came back. So then, you know, I was a student and then, you know, started a career. So I think for my role as a wife and as a mother has changed with different chapters of my life.
Yeah. And I think that's important too, because I know someone who is married and she has 2 jobs and she has children, and literally she does nothing for herself. When I say everything is about her husband and kids, and I have conversations with her and try to explain to her, like, look, you have to take care of yourself. You have to do something for you. You know, you working 2 jobs, you coming home, you cooking, cleaning, and you know, the husband does not work. He chooses not to work. She paying all the bills, just bought a house and everything. She's doing everything, and she just feels this obligation to fill that role. And so I've had several conversations with her about that and trying to get her to understand that, you know, you cannot put this all on your shoulder. You got a man at home who's very smart, capable of working, but you just choose not to put your foot down. And that's not a good combination to me, you know. And so I try to really get her to understand it. And unfortunately, there are a lot of women in those types of situations, you know, that just, you know, feel comfortable with putting everything on, because a marriage, in my opinion, is supposed to be 50-50, not 100-0.
yes,
Right.
You know.
Right.
So speak to a situation like that, because I want to hear what you guys think about that. You know, if you was, and not necessarily, I just want your opinion. Like, what do you think about a situation like that?
Unfair.
Okay.
If I had a friend that was going through that, I think I would have given the same advice as you.
Yeah.
If a person just gives, you know, at the end of the day, they're going to have nothing. It's like gasoline in a gas tank. If you give away your gas to everybody else around you, your engine's not going to run.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it would be a more, how would you say, a more, not beneficial, but more rewarding relationship.
Yeah.
To have it be 50-50.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. this same person, we got to talk about this. It's just we're gonna do it because we're not gonna not just do this show and not talk about this. But this same person's husband is also cheating. They know, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble if they see it, but oh well. They realize, they know that the husband is cheating. In fact, the daughter actually went into the husband's phone and found a lot of text messages and everything, pictures and all this stuff with other women.
The child did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And went to the mother and told the mother, and the mother said, well, I don't care. He does not have a job. And her response like, Mom, yeah, but he still has money. He gets money from you. So I think everybody that's in her circle of support is trying to figure out, like, why are you allowing this type of behavior, you know what I'm saying, to go on, Yeah, so speak to that. 'Cause I really want to hear.
I think with people in general, but definitely women, our identities and what we expect from men is shaped from childhood. So what depends on what type of father figure or love you did or did not receive, or
That's
what kind
exactly
of
right.
love you did or did not receive from the grown-ups in your life. It
Yeah.
affects the relationships you seek when you're older.
So I got to ask you straight out, would you tolerate if your spouse was cheating?
In this situation, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. If I had a husband who was working and trying and is human and,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
cared to contribute something to the marriage
Yeah.
and just like, oops,
Make them exactly.
that could be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be. I
Yeah.
haven't been there, but could
Yeah.
be. So.
Okay. What about
Okay.
you?
Well, first I want to touch on the wife. It sounds like, she's a people pleaser.
That's exactly right.
But she's not pleasing herself. She forgot she's a people too.
Yes.
And she's also showing her children what type of relationship is acceptable. So she's showing her children that a relationship where part of the family unit doesn't contribute and sits around and then cheats, those are the type of people that her children may go find. So
Exactly.
our children are watching what we do in relationships, what we do in our marriage, and
Yeah.
that's what they will try and model, or maybe sometimes not model
Yeah.
themselves after. But that was one thing. Second of all, the cheating, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't know why she is. She of, like you had talked about the type of love you received. Maybe she's afraid of receiving no love, and
Yeah.
this is better than no love. But
Yeah.
I would have to tell her, if she was my friend, that's not true. There's other things out there for you, and you
Exactly.
can't open a window when this door over here is still,
Yeah.
hanging on. So yeah, I would tell her she needs to take a look in the mirror for a little bit and really take a look in the mirror at herself.
Yeah.
And do what's best for her and for her kids. Excuse me.
I think that exactly, and I'm in 100% agreement with both comments. I think that the type of person that you're getting. You're not going into a relationship or marriage not knowing this particular person. And I think that he ended up marrying her because she ended up getting sick. And so he ended up marrying her, and I feel like a lot of that was due to his financial benefit, because if something happened to her, it's like, boom, I get this insurance money. And it's unfortunate that type of mindset has, caused her to say yes. But I mean, it's just, because it's unfortunate. There are healthy marriages, and in this case, it's a very unhealthy marriage. In my opinion, a man is definitely supposed to contribute. If he's not the breadwinner, then he should be bringing some home. But just to sit up there and kick your feet up and, who does that? This is 2017. Women are more independent, they're more strong, they're more vocal, they have more rights. And so to allow that type of behavior goes on, to me, it's just unacceptable.
I agree.
It almost sounds like she's maybe not indebted to him, but if he was there while she was at a sick point in her life, that maybe she feels an obligation.
Yeah.
That, I don't know.
If she's down and out, that she has to have somebody there to help.
No, but if she was sick and he was helping when she was
No.
sick.
Oh, right.
That's not the case at all.
Okay, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Trust me, not the case at all. So, what are the pros and cons to being married? Let's talk about the pros first. What are the benefits to being married from a wife point of view?
See, I get hung up on just the word married.
Okay.
Because, I feel like I have a relationship with my husband. We are married, but I don't know. I guess the pros are that, I always have someone's shoulder to cry on or talk to or bring home good news to, share things about. There's someone to go through stuff with.
Nice.
On both sides. If he's going through something or his family's going through something, I'm there to support him and vice versa. So, that'd be what comes off the top of my head.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice knowing that in a world where nothing is, guaranteed or owed to anybody, or, you're never guaranteed to know what specific challenges you're going to face.
Exactly.
That at least at the end of the day, you don't have to go through it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's kind of comforting.
So what challenges actually comes with being married? We're going to be real. We're going to be real here.
Like I said, me and my husband got together when we were very young.
Okay.
I was 16 when we first got together, and he was 18.
Okay.
Of course, we were older when we got married.
Yeah.
So not only do you face the normal challenges, at least in my situation, of marriage and, family, but we're also growing and growing up. Mm-hmm. So we had the challenge of not just growing up, but trying to learn to grow together and not apart.
Yeah.
So, that I'd say that's been a challenge, not consistently, but at different points in our lives, there's been times where, I'll have different views than he does. Yeah. And, we have to learn to navigate this because at the end of the day, we're a team.
Exactly. So. That's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What's some of the challenges?
Oh, gosh.
20 years.
I know.
20 years under your belt.
I know, but gosh, I guess probably closer, more challenges in the beginning of the marriage rather than later in the marriage. And that's a lot of, navigating each other's career choices or navigating each other's, just what you want to do. And to, one of the challenging things is to realize the person that you married is going to be the same person you married in 20 years and 30 years and 40 years. So you have to make sure your expectations aren't out of whack.
Yeah.
You can't expect someone to change and be who they aren't.
Exactly.
And
that's
so,
wow.
And that's for you too. You aren't going to, we are who we are, and we all grow up a little bit, whatnot, but the core of who you are is that same person. So the person that I married 20 years ago is the same man that I have today. So, that's a big thing, is just to remember that, people aren't going to change.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of grow and adapt, and you won't always like it.
Yeah.
But, it's a two-way street, and that's kind of how marriages work. It's not always fun.
That's the importance of love, though. Because when you love somebody, you love their flaws. You love the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Got to take the good with the bad, because there's definitely going to be, some things you wish you could tweak a little bit,
right?
Turn this one down, turn this one up, but it's just take the good with the bad.
Compromise it.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So are there mental health challenges in a marriage, especially coming from a woman's point of view? Because you just said how women are communicators, and some women are more emotional than their spouse, So what mental health challenges do you think women face in being in a marriage?
Well, that's a good one. Mental health. I guess the respect level, some women may need, I guess it's just knowing what that person needs, what they consider respect, what they consider disrespect, knowing when to cater to what it is that they need, or when to protect your own feelings.
Exactly.
Because I do feel there comes a time when, especially for women, we're like, want to cater to our husband and, oh, honey, and this. But then there's times where you have to guard your own heart. Does that sound odd?
No.
Not that you want to guard or protect yourself from your husband, but know when you need to nurture yourself too.
Exactly. And take care of yourself.
In a healthy, good balance.
Because in a situation I described earlier about this particular person who husband is not stepping up to the plate, that would be a prime example of this particular woman should learn to take care of herself mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, because I can
Absolutely.
easily see a lot of depression and anxiety, even some suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
You know, when you've made a commitment to this particular person, and it seems that, you know, he doesn't care. I know some women face the challenge of insecurity. Why me? Am I not good enough? Why would he want to do that? You know, what does she have that I don't have, and things like that. That can affect a woman in a great way.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You have to take care of your mind and yourself first.
Yeah.
Because if you're not healthy, you can't give anything healthy to other people.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, if she's constantly, or if any of us are constantly go and not stopping and taking that time, then that's how you can end up sick, and that's how you can end up with, you know, all types of other mental health problems that will creep up on you. So you have to take care of yourself first so that you can then give to others. Because if you're not healthy yourself, you're not giving anything healthy to them.
Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah.
What about finances? Talk a little bit about that. Because some people, you know, they, especially like for women who make more money than their husband, not in all cases, but some women feel like, you know what, you know, I need to have my own bank account. But other women may feel like, well, you know, I think that, you know, we need to have a dual account so we can all be on the same page. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel like it's best to have like a separate bank account or dual accounts, and then each spouse have a separate bank account?
For us, it was always, mind you, he was able to get a bank account before I could.
Yeah.
So he started off with his, and then, you know, as he purchased a home and, you know, bills had to be paid and things of that nature, it was always easier to, once I was 18, to add me to his account because I wasn't working. Why did I need my own account?
Exactly.
But it made life easier paying bills and going shopping, and, you know, instead of here, take the card, you know, go shop. I had my own to the account. So that is what, it's just always been that way for us.
Yeah.
Us too. We've always had a checking account together, and
That's awesome.
yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable, I think,
Yeah.
with my spouse having a secret checking account. Like, what's up with that? Wait,
One foot
no,
in, one foot out.
no, it's one household, one account.
Yeah.
My kids always joke that my husband doesn't have any money, and I tell him he has the same money I have.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have any cash on
Mom
him.
just uses it.
Yeah, I'm the one who does all the. I mean, I do all the shopping and bill paying and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But it's one account,
Yeah.
and it's all coming in and out. Yeah, I would
Yeah.
be very. If a husband had a separate account, I'd be like, something shifty's going on there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like that answer because, you know, and that is a way to have financial accountability.
Right.
I mean, let's be real here, because if the individual spouse had a separate banking account, you can really monitor what's being spent or what the money is being spent on.
Right.
You know, not that you don't trust,
Yeah.
but it, you know, it's like, okay, I can take a peek at this. So
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
There should be nothing that you can't see anyway.
But
If
that's
you
not-
can't see it, it's not. Yeah.
But that's not fun around the holidays, I'm gonna say. It's
Yeah.
it's not. It almost ruined my proposal.
yeah.
Oh, because you saw the charge.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the charge,
Yeah.
and so I told myself, oh, it's a necklace, or
Yeah.
it's a, you know. But deep inside, I hoped it was a ring, you know.
Yeah.
But what if it hadn't?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
would ruin my Christmas.
Yeah.
You know? But no, that's where it gets a little sticky.
Yeah. So is trust a huge component in marriage, and why?
It absolutely is,
Yeah.
because if there's no trust, you're going to drive yourself crazy and the other person crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I can definitely say that I went through waves in
Yeah.
my relationship, because
Yeah.
you start off as teenagers, and
Yeah.
you know, you don't know how to be a secure woman when you're a teenager.
Yeah.
And then, you know, for me, it's very important because if there's no, I don't know the right word. It's just not enjoyable.
Yeah.
To be questioned or to want to question or to drive yourself nuts. Like, oh, I wonder who that conversation was with,
like,
or I wonder what's going on in your Facebook. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Who
There
you
wasn't
texting?
Facebook back there
Yeah, who
then,
you
but yeah,
texting?
yeah.
Yeah, and
That's mental health. We're talking mental health. That's not healthy.
True story. I don't know if I should be sharing this, but hopefully they won't see this. I know someone personally who was in a very similar situation as the first person. And this particular wife, she kind of suspected something because when the husband would receive text message, his behavior would change. Sometimes he would leave the room and different things like that. But this particular woman, she was smart. She didn't confront him right away. And so one day, the husband, kind of got a little bit intoxicated and was in a deep sleep. So that's when the detective work came in at.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, she got that cell phone and she found out everything she wanted to know. In fact, this particular, her husband I guess he went out with a girl, and this particular woman was a problem in their relationship before they got married.
Oh.
And so she went on ahead and, and married him anyway because he apologized. He said, she means nothing. I'm done with that. But when they got married, maybe like 5 or 6 years later, this same woman pops up. And so as she went through his phone, she noticed that some way, somehow, him and this woman went to a club and they ended up on the club's website together, dancing.
Oh my gosh.
And so, of course, she was furious. She was furious and stuff, and she confronted him, and and it was like nothing, and because she's still with him, the same stuff still going on.
Yeah.
But once again, you have that pattern of, I personally don't understand like why people stay in relationships like that, but apparently the trust factor the moment you got in the phone, the trust was broken.
Right.
Yeah.
My
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
I lost trust for that guy too, just hearing it now.
Yeah. So,
Definitely.
Have you ever evaluated your marriage? Either one of you, have you ever just kind of evaluate, see, okay, how things going? And is it the way I think it should be, or is have some problems been rectified?
Absolutely. I think that's a healthy process.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you?
Yeah, I kind of more of an evaluation of where were we 20 years ago? Where do we plan to be now? And where were we going to plan to be in the future? And how do we get there? Are we in the right spot and stuff? So yeah, you have to look at things, and I think it's also important to reevaluate with your spouse of like, are we still going toward this goal toward you mean
like
future?
Life success, like achievements?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was talking about just evaluating my relationship.
Oh well, I meant that too. Just to see where's the relationship going, as well.
I think that's
where are we going to be in another 20 years?
So, are you comfortable with? Because I know some women, they have a problem with their husband having female friends, like close female friends that call, text whenever they want, and be like, "Okay, I'm finna go over Katie's house. I'll be back in an hour or two." And
I'm getting a little warm just thinking about it. Honestly, I'm like,
because I don't have men friends.
Okay.
So he doesn't get to have. He doesn't anyways. It's just, but we had to work that out in the beginning of our relationship type of situation. And I don't. Neither one of us are gonna like. I'm gonna go over to so and so's house. It's not.
Yeah, well, she's just a friend, and I've been doing this since high school, and because that happens in some people's marriages.
It does. You have to have strong trust, I think, and you have to know that person and be. And I think it's also too, if this is someone that was in that person's life before you came, it's a little bit different, and you have to kind of work through that. If it's someone who's come in after you,
right,
not happening. No, but there are people who have lifelong friends and this and that, so you have to work that out between you and that other person and you and your spouse. But if
Yeah.
this person's all of a sudden a new friend, no.
No. My husband and I, we have friends on social media that we grew up with, that
Yeah.
we went to high school with.
Yeah.
Do we text message or call these people or go to their homes without our spouse? No.
Yeah, yeah. I think if I was married, I definitely would have a problem with my wife having a male friend, best friend, or what you want to call it, texting. Cause this is 2017,
Yeah.
and things happen. You know, I just know how things go. Yeah, so I wouldn't.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be okay with me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about this earlier, about the cheating part. So, you know, we're living in a society where, you know, some women are very flirtatious. I go to a gym and I work out, and I just, you just kind of know, you know, some women kind of let you know, okay, I'm interested, or whatever you want to call them, when I
Sure.
get too explicit. Do you worry about, not necessarily worry about, but do it ever cross your mind that, okay, you know, that your husband run across, okay, let me give you an example. So, I know I got all these examples, but it's true. So I know someone who, that's in a very trusting marriage. And this particular guy, him and his wife have their own business, and the husband hired this secretary. We call her the secretary, as a matter of fact. And, you know, the husband and the wife, they had a very good marriage. Nothing was going on, you know, just nothing, you know, no issues like that. And so all of a sudden, the secretary, she would, you know, start complimenting him. She will, you know, she started wearing like really nice perfume, and, you know, start, oh, I brought you lunch, and just different things. So I felt like she was wearing him down very slowly. Now, keep in mind, the wife she was staying at home because she really didn't need to work financially, and she chose not to work. And the husband never really shared any of this information to the wife about the relationship that he was forming with this lady that he had hired, the secretary. And finally, it came out, I guess this woman got so comfortable with her boss that she asked him would he be okay with, you know, helping her buy a car. The wife only found this out because one day she text messaged him like at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And so when the wife looked at this text message, her husband was in the shower, that's where her antennas went up. So of course she, you know, was asking her husband what's going on and all this stuff. And so she went to the office the next day, and she started being up there. She started overseeing
Yeah.
the secretary.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And this had went on for so long that she had trusted her husband, and he didn't think anything was wrong. He was just like, oh, she's being nice, and she buys me lunch sometime, and she says, oh, I got a nice suit on, and he doesn't see nothing wrong with that.
And he financed a car for her?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
The wife stepped in.
Okay,
The wife said,
okay.
She saw the text message the night before.
Did he think about it?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay.
But the point is, she had got so comfortable with him that, you know,
Yeah.
you got to buy a car.
Yeah.
So some men, for whatever reason, they don't really think about it. It's like, oh, she's nice, and she just complimented, oh. And I could tell you right now, from a man's point of view, I don't care if married or single, we like to be complimented by a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's in our nature. Mm-hmm. You know, we may not have anything from us to lead this woman to compliment us. We may, you know,
Walking through the gym.
yeah, like, okay, I like those shoes, or oh wow, what type of exercise you do? Because I want to kind of talk to my boyfriend and my husband and try to get him to. I mean, that's just things like that happen. We love that type of stuff. So, do you feel comfortable, or do you feel like, I wouldn't want my husband to be in a situation like that? And if so, would you want him to tell you about it?
Yeah. There's been plenty of times where I've been out with my husband and I catch it before he does.
Interesting.
I will spot someone. He'll catch someone's eye and I will see that happening, and then that person will look over at me and they'll either look away or they'll keep looking, you know. I guess it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he's oblivious to it.
Exactly.
It could just be because I'm there that he's oblivious. I don't know, but I would want to know about it.
Yeah.
This is how we are. I will share with him.
Yeah.
You know, today I was at the grocery store and guess what this guy told me?
Yeah.
You know, or guess what, you know, and we share it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. What about you in a situation like that? Would you want to know?
Oh, I would definitely want to know that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I could easily see my husband just kind of not even...
Yeah.
I think because in that respect, his radar is not up like that.
Right.
He's
Exactly
not
true.
looking
Yeah.
for that. And most women will compliment you because they are flirting with you. Just
Oh, they lie. I already know
I don't
that.
go around complimenting men all day.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because I'm a married woman, happily,
Right.
you know, so you have to kind of read the body language. But I can also see how if you're not fishing for it
Right.
and the fish jumps at you,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of have to get out of the way or what. But
Yeah.
you know, if you're not looking for it, like it would be the same as I think if you or I were in the store, we're not looking for it. Someone says something, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I think the other person was picking up on me, you know, because
Yeah.
you're not
We're
paying
so out of the
attention.
game. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I would definitely want to know
Yeah.
that type of thing. And you know, if it's innocent, I would probably say something like, "Well, she knows you're married. Have you
Yeah.
shown her pictures of our kids?
Yeah.
You know, just to make sure that this person knows the whole picture. You know, and yeah.
And I do agree. I think that with this particular gentleman, I definitely don't think his radar was up for
Right.
sure. You know, and to allow things to progress to that point.
And then not say anything.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Share it.
Yeah,
That's
the food,
the
the
sketchy.
perfume, and just having really long conversations at work. And because think about when you work with people, you know, you do tend to form a relationship, a work relationship.
Right.
You know, sometimes people kind of, you know, share little personal things that are going on, and you know, and so I just think I think he should have warned or communicated to his wife, like, look, you know, she's, you know, secretary, she's nice, she bought me lunch. Because I'm sure if she would have known, like, some of that stuff in the very beginning, her radar would have went up.
Yeah.
But when she got that text message, it was over. She was up the next day.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, she ended up getting rid of her.
There you go. That's the way you do it.
Eliminate the competition altogether.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
That's
she
right.
started doing the file and the books and all that
There you
stuff.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know.
That's a risk you do take, especially with something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying men aren't secretaries by any means, but
Yeah.
if you're not in the office ever and there's a woman that works closely with your husband,
Yeah. So do you think that if, and I know you kind of talked on this, but if a female, you were out and she just blatantly hit on your husband, do you think, is it your job to kind of interject that? Or would you just kind of sit back and just let him handle it?
he'll handle it.
Really? Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
Unless I need to get in there.
Yeah.
If you can't take
Right,
no for
unless
an
you can-
answer. Then
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one situation before my husband and I were married that I knew there was a girl that really liked him.
Yeah.
But she knew we were dating. But I made sure I pointed out to him, you know.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, oh no. I go, yeah, she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was.
Yeah.
But he didn't see it because he wasn't interested. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He just saw her as a nice girl and this and that. But I was like, no, she's got a crush on you.
Yeah.
Women know. We know. these things.
Yeah, I was gonna say women know. You know, I don't care. You guys,
Absolutely.
you just pick it up. You
Yeah.
pick it up.
It's that intuition. It's that when the first time and you hear it, you feel it, and if you don't listen to it, you're going to be sorry. You know, you have to listen to that intuition that says something's not right, and most times.
So, do you think that comes from when you probably was single and you was interested in a male, and you probably like, okay, kind of let him know, you're cute, or you know, whatever, or you just know just because because it does seem like women have that intuition
It's
about
there.
that.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little bit of both.
Okay.
Just like, you know, men enjoy compliments.
Yes, yeah, we do.
That's, you know, you can say that for women. No, I guess can tell when another woman is flirting, or the sparkle in her eye when
Yeah.
she's talking to your husband, or that intuition is there. It's like something pulls at you, like a little antennas go up.
yeah.
Trust it.
I
trust it always.
The
Oh, I'm
body
so sorry.
language.
The body
It's
language.
funny,
You
yeah.
have to, if you can watch the body language, you could tell.
Yeah.
A lot of times when people have a more intimate relationship than they should. If you
Exactly.
can just watch the body language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell it's not. It just cracks me up because I could tell you, yeah, you're not having it at all. The behind that smile, like, okay. So, so let's move on. So, what are your thoughts on arranged marriages? Because in some cultures, women don't have a choice. Their marriage is arranged in some cases from a child birth. They kind of get into this, the culture kind of arranged that the marriage, and they don't have a choice. So what are your opinions on that? Just
I have seen television shows that document that type of thing, and I've seen it where some women are really nervous about it, some are really excited about it. I think it's a beautiful thing if both parties have good intentions. I've seen where it's not necessarily the case. I had a friend in high school who she didn't have her marriage arranged, but culturally that's what was to happen.
Yeah.
And she shared with me, her parents took her to the guy who they wanted her to marry, took her to the parents' house. They bid on her.
Nice.
What their family can give to her family. But she was in love with someone else, and so she did not go through with that, and it was not an easy thing for her family.
Wow.
She was not looked the same they didn't look at her the same anymore after that. But I think there's something call me crazy. I think there's something romantic about it if people have good intentions.
So what if, because in some cultures, arranged marriage may mean that you don't know who the person is until the day of the wedding.
That's intense.
Now, how I mean, think about that. You have no knowledge or information what type of man this is or going to be. I mean, it's just like you just show up, boom, and this is the person I'm supposed to marry. Like, how would that affect you? Like, what would you think about that?
I don't know. I think I would run away.
And if not physically, emotionally.
Yeah, I think I would just have to run away. I feel, in a way, I feel sad for any woman or man who would have to be forced to marry someone that they don't know or don't love or anything. I think that's, in a way, sad. It'd be great if everyone, they all worked out and they were beautiful, wonderful marriages and whatnot, but I can't imagine that would happen all the time. And so I feel it's sad that people don't have that choice. That's the big thing. It's because you could just want to choose who you're going to spend that time with, but also have to be respectful of the culture of that's their culture. So, but I think I would run.
Exactly.
Run away.
What about? Let's talk a little bit about because we're running out of time. Let's talk a little bit about blended families, because there are people who have a second marriage, and sometimes each one have bring in kids or children within the marriage. Now, I do know people who have like successful marriages with having a blended family, but I also know people who, like this one girl told me, she's married and she has one son. Her husband has two sons from a previous marriage, and it's kind of divided. Like she doesn't buy for his children. He buy for his children and she buy for her son. They don't tell each other children what they need to do. It's just it's totally separate.
It doesn't sound blended.
Right, exactly. So how what do you guys think about that?
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's never tough to be the child of divorce and remarriage. It's just never is, because you're never going to be treated the way that your parent would treat you by a step parent. But I came from, divorced family and then remarried. And so I grew up with that. And it's hard. It's hard, I think, particularly on the kids. And I think the more that the parents can learn to incorporate all the kids together as a family. If you're going to buy for one, you buy for all three. Or, so that they feel as a family. Otherwise, it's it's very divisive.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very us against them, or them,
Yeah.
and that's not a recipe for a healthy, loving relationship. It's going to be a relationship that's going to have a lot of animosity,
Exactly.
insecurity, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of things. And those, especially as children, those you grow up with that, and that's what you bring to your next relationship.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think it's tough. I feel for people who do that, but it's a tough thing to do. So I would say take your time.
Yeah. Yeah. My last comment to that is, if you truly love someone, you will accept their children.
Right.
You accept their family because when you marry somebody, you're marrying into their family.
Absolutely.
Whether it's you know, mother, father, brother, or another child, you know, this becomes your family now. We're running out of time, but I'm thank you for doing this show today, because I think just a lot of stuff that we talked about, I think it'll help some of the women who will actually watch this show, and even some of the men that the husbands that will watch this show, even some of the women or men who is not married or thinking about getting married.
Right.
I think this will really speak to them, and that's important. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And that is it for today's edition of Mental Health Matters. If you enjoyed this particular program, if you have questions about this particular program, or if you would like a DVD copy of this particular program, please dial 916-366-4600. Thank you.